Hello, today's video is going to be the first Mother's Day card that I'm making for 2017. This card is going to be for my mother, who is an amazing woman, so the card seemed appropriate. My mother had 4 children, and I found this stamp which had 4 bunnies. It seemed really appropriate for her. So this card features some watercoloring with Zig clean color markers, and I've done a little bit of embossing so that the colors stay a little bit more crisp. And it came together really easy. You can replicate this card yourself very easily if you can get your hands on the markers, and if you didn't, you could do it with any watercoloring media you had, pencils, paints, what have you. So let me go over the materials that I use for this card. This card is not the standard A2 size card. So if you decide to make this card, please note the dimensions in my comment section below. The card base is 9 inches by 6 inches, scored at 4.5. I have a patterned cardstock cut 4 1/4 by 6. I have 2 watercolor panels which are cut 6 inches by 3. For the Zig clean color markers, the best paper to use is the Bristol Strathmore. And I also need a strip of glitter paper. I'm going to just get what I need from this paper and then trim it off rather than start with the strip. But you need at least 1 inch strip by 6.5 inches to do this. The stamps I'm using today is Dragonfly Dreams by Stampin' Up, Bloom with Hope, Stampin' Up, Year Round Fun, also by Stampin' Up. This is a very old stamp set, 1980, looks like 1980, 1990. It's so little I can't really tell. And this is when Stampin' Up did these foam stamps. I got that at the Goodwill. Go Goodwill, good place for the crafters to go. I wouldn't go for anything else, but crafting supplies, you really can get a good deal. And Amazing Family, also by Stampin' Up. And as you see, I got this stamp from the Goodwill, $3.99. This is the little bunny rabbit stamp, and it says it's made by Stamps Happen. I have no idea what it's called. I'm also going to use a border punch by Fiskars. I believe Stampin' Up has a punch that will do, a border punch that also does the same shape. There may be a similar one by EK Success, and I believe Martha Stewart has one also. The inks I'm using today is Tea-Dye Distress ink, and I need a blender tool. And I'm also using my go-to Versafine Onyx Black. I'll be doing a little bit of embossing, so I'll need my clear embossing powder and my embossing tool. And as I mentioned, Zig clean color real brush markers. I have quite a few colors pulled out for this. I won't go through them all. They're listed down below in the comment section. You can look up what I use. I could have probably used a few fewer colors, but I wanted this to be very colorful. Okay, let me clear these items up and start right into the card. I'm going to start off doing my stamping that I need. I'm bringing in my Misty tool, which I've already put my stamps onto it in the place where they need to be. So the first thing I need to do is stamp the "You're Such an Amazing," and I want that to be in the upper corner, because I need to stamp beyond it to get my bunnies on there. So I'm going to be doing the embossing clear over black for the embossing. So let me run my embossing tool over this and have my embossing powder ready to go. So once I put the ink on, I'm going to take this panel and dip it immediately into the embossing powder, and the embossing powder will stick to the ink. as long as you work quickly. Okay, I got a good impression the first try. That's the reason for using the Misty. If you don't get a good impression, you can re-stamp it again. That is often a problem with watercolor paper because it's not usually smooth, but this is very smooth. Okay, there we go. I'm going to set this aside and do all the embossing at once. Let's try inking that again, this time not rocking it. Okay. Okay, that's two things. And clean this up real quick. I have a rag which is soaked in my do-it-yourself stamp cleaner. I have a video on my channel showing how to make that. Now the last thing is to, whoops, wrong piece, stamp the bunnies. Oh, I need to emboss this first. Okay, now I'm going to need to go take this and run my heat tool on it, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I have the pieces have been embossed. The heat gun warps the paper just a little bit, but if you just give it a little fold back, it's fine. It doesn't hurt it at all. So now for this one, I need to get this rabbits stamped on here. I can't use my Misty for this because it's a wooden stamp, so I have to just try and gauge this and get it on here straight as I can. So I'm going to just peek under the stamp to see where the stamping is and then just press it down. Hopefully I got it all on the paper. Press it really hard because I only got one shot to get this right. Ooh, it was close. Now I'm going to dump this into the embossing powder and get the embossing powder on the little bunnies. The powder will not stick on the embossing that I did earlier because it's no longer wet. So it doesn't hurt anything by doing this way. If I was very careful, I could have done both of these embossing at the same time, but I didn't anticipate that I would not accidentally knock the other powder off while I was doing this. So I have a little spoon sitting over here which I could have scooped it on here, but I'm trying to just be quick. You just knock off the extra powder and looks like I got a good coverage. Now I'm going to heat tool this. Be right back again. Now that's all done. Got a little bit of warping, but if you just give it a little twist, it'll be fine. Now for the inside sentiment. I decided to use watercoloring because in my original one I did with plain cardstock, and I wasn't entirely happy with the blending that I got on the inside because the plain paper doesn't want to blend with these Zig clean color markers. So I decided to splurge for the watercolor for the inside panel, even though it's just for the little flower, but I'm picky on this one. So I have put my flower stamp where I need it to be, and I'll just stamp it up with the Versafine. I'm not going to do any embossing on the inside. So there's the flower. Got a good impression. Come on, having trouble with the nails as usual. There we go. Clean this real quick. I don't want this to get all messy. Now, sentiment, Happy Mother's Day. With this large rubber stamp, you have to be really careful that you don't get the little shadow of ink along the end, because that will transfer. So I'm going to wipe that off. Hopefully I won't get that little bit on there. This is the problem with the full rubber stamps that I find, that it's very easy to rock the edge. Like I just now did it. I don't know if you could see it, but I just rocked it. Very slight impression there. And another sentiment which says, enjoy your special day. I am definitely a fan of the photopolymer because I can see through it and see exactly where I am stamping. Okay, clean this up real quick. All right. Now I'm going to move on to the watercoloring. So I'm going to speed this part up because it's a slow process, because as I mentioned, I'm using a lot of colors. But I will start off with the boy bunny and speed through. You need your aqua pen and your colors. You just drop the colors in here and there. You don't need too much of this. I'm focusing on where the colors will be more heavy saturated, and then I would take the aqua pen and put some tissue and blend it. And as you see, this color moves really, really easily on this paper. And the shadows just happen naturally as you take the paper across, the colors across the paper, excuse me. Okay, wipe my brush clean, and I'm now going to make the shirt to be a little bit green, but I want it to be light, so I'm being really careful and not putting too much color on to start with. You can always add more. Okay, I'm going to go through and do all the watercoloring at once. to put this little card together. Keep losing my bone folder. Press a good seam and yes. Tape. Little extra tape for the water that's on here. This piece, I'm going to distress the edges with the tea dye. Now I need to take in my border punch and cut this. Now this is longer than the punch can punch, so you start off by putting the paper flush to the back and just line it up straightly and punch. And then once you do that, you bring it forward until you see the punching, and you line it up with the markings on the punch itself. And just punch all the way across. Okay, I need to get this part that I started with. So you line it up from the other side. And I know I'm going to need a little edge, so I'm not going to worry about that. But there you go. Now I'll bring in my paper trimmer and trim off how much I need for that. I'm going to give that about 1 inch. This paper trimmer does better on this heavy glimmer paper if I cut it with the shiny side down. It may not matter for your paper trimmer, but for mine it does matter. It keeps me from having to change the blade so frequently. Okay, now we're going to tape this to this. Make sure I get the right side. Shiny side up, of course. I could have trimmed this a little smaller, but live and learn. Okay, now flip it over and trim it even. Trying to get a straight cut. Oh, just as I said that. It's sometimes difficult to get the tape to stick to the glimmer paper. Still needs another trim. Because it moved a little bit, but oh well. It'll be fine. Oops. Okay, now this I'm going to pop up on foam tape. So bring in my roll. Just measure out 3 pieces ought to do it. and put it on about quarter inch from the top. See what I mean about that glimmer paper that doesn't want to stick? We're going to tuck that bad boy back up in there though. And come on, you get in there. Push it down. Okay, I think it needs a little bow here, so hold on while I go get a bow. Okay, I put a bow there. I have a bag of bows of all sort of colors, and I just put it on with a glue dot and stuck it in the corner. So that is now officially the finished card. It's nice and pretty. The rabbits, I think, really look well together. I want to thank my brother David Marsh for providing the music, which I'm using in my videos now. I really appreciate it. He's a great jazz musician. I'm going to link to his YouTube channel down below. Please check him out if you really want to listen to some fantastic jazz music. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everyone's comments. And I enjoy entertaining you with my videos. Please subscribe if you like my channel. Thanks for watching and have a great day.